Welcome to the Royal Calcutta Turf Club for the Calcutta Races Winter Meeting 4th day Friday 17th January 2025 race preview for our Derby Day races. The first of 10 races is the Cavalry Cup for horses rated 1 to 26 to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. The first runner we are looking at is Elios. This is from the current season where Elios was travelling in 11th spot and asked for an effort. Elios dropped back, finished on last of 12 runners. The winner here was Emperor Ashoka, who won that race in a very close finish by a long neck. Next up, we got number 3, Macchiato, Sanis Paracum out of Arabica. This is from the current season in race number 16, where Macchiato was in a forward position until the last 150 meters, where it started to slide back towards the rear of the field. Eventually finished on 6th of 9 runners. The winner here was Oh My Sweetheart. 5 is Royal Rider, who's had 4 starts in the season already. Nothing much to speak about them. In race number 9, finished on 11th. Race number 21 finished on 6th. Race number 35 finished on 12th. Last start, race number 42 was travelling over 1100 meters. Was an 8th spot for most while. Eventually stayed on in 8th. The winner here was Eagle's Flight. 6 Indian Tiger. Indian Tiger has had 4 starts in the season. Started the season with a placed effort in race number 9, where it was on a start to finish mission, was caught up by them. Eventually saved the place money, finished on 3rd. Since then had couple of efforts where it finished on 4th. Last start was in race number 62, where did not get the lead but was in 2nd spot under the last 200 meters, where dropped back and eventually finished on 8th of 11 runners. The winner here was Mathangi. Couple of runners we are looking at. 3 Cristaldo, 12 Magnite. Cristaldo has had 4 starts in this season. Last 2 starts has finished on 4th, including this start where Cristaldo was in a forward position but then eventually just dropped back slightly, finished on 4th. 12 Magnite, who's had 5 starts in the season. Best start was definitely this start, where Magnite was on a start to finish mission, was looking good until the last 200 meters, where shot in stride, eventually got caught up by the presence, and Magnite did the next best thing, finished on 2nd. 8 is Pyrgos. Pyrgos has had 1 start after having 1 start in the monsoon season, where it finished on 5th. This start was in race number 7 on the winter track, where Pyrgos was in 5th spot. When asked for an effort, Pyrgos jumped up and down in the same spot, eventually finished on 5th of 7 runners. The winner here was Elite. Couple of runners, 9 To The Stars and 14 Sun God. Couple of starts for To The Stars in this season already so far. Race number 19 finished on 8th. Over here, To The Stars was racing in 6th spot when asked for an effort, dropped back, eventually finished on 9th. Sun God has had 3 starts. A better start of Sun God was in race number 39, where finished on 3rd. Over here, Sun God finished on 7th after being in 7th spot for most while. The winner was Impressive Annie. 11 is Palcha, who's had 4 starts and an eye-catching start in race number 13, where Palcha finished on 3rd behind Eagle's Flight over 1100 meters. Since then, couple of unplaced effort, including this one. This is from race number 48, where Palcha was travelling in 6th spot for most while, then eventually finished on 6th. The winner here was Bansi. Finally, 13 MSG Fantasy, who has had a start where it was slowly out of the gates. This was in race number 19. MSG Fantasy took the turn in 10th spot in the fag end of the race, made some late gains, eventually finished on 7th of 10 runners. The winner was Eagle's Flight. Moving on to the second race of the day, the Perin Dalal Alokananda Stakes for fillies 3-year-old only, to be run over a distance of about 1200 meters. First one we are looking at is Murano. Murano is by Dali out of Harmonica, and what a start this first for Murano. Was in second spot, then took charge and drew away from Victoria Cross. Murano again the mount of A Sandesh. Two is Eleonora. The run we are looking at is from Bangalore, where in race number 52, Eleonora was in third spot, then came up and challenged the leader and eventually fell short by almost 3 parts of a length. The winner was the late finishing Lena. Eleonora, the mount of Suraj Naredu. 3 is Galway Girl, Dreamfield out of Actual. The start we are looking at from the current season in race number 32, where Galway Girl was in a prominent position until the last 200 meters, where dropped back slightly, eventually finished on third. Galway Girl, the mount of Arul JH. The other runner is Polka Dot, who's running here on debut. So that's the 4 runners for the Perin Dalal Alokananda Stakes. We move on to the third race of the afternoon, the Lieutenant General Jamil Mahmood Memorial Cup Division 1 for horses rate 21 to 46, rate 1 to 26, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. First runner we're looking at is Golden Light, who's by Multitude out of Skylight Express. Couple of starts for Golden Light, and the season started the season with a second placed effort in race number 10. The run we are looking at is from race number 31, where Golden Light was travelling in 6th spot for most while and finished on 6th of 13 runners. The winner here was Winter Agenda. Star Concept has had 3 starts. Better start was the first start it had was in race number 3, where finished on 3rd. That was on the monsoon track. Since then, couple of starts on the winter track. A 5th place effort in race number 20, detour in race number 64, the one we're looking at, where Star Concept travelled in 7th spots for most while, made a couple of placings and finished on 5th of 10 runners. The winner here was Satiwar. 3 is Star Justice. Star Justice has had 3 starts. A start in race number 45, where Star Justice finished on 4th of 9 runners, and the run we are looking at is from race number 68, where Star Justice was in 6th spot for most while, then dropped back a placing and eventually finished on 7th of 8 runners. The winner there was Sky Force. We got a few runners. Number 4, Into the Storm, 5, Tusaw, 7, Emperor Shoka. Into the Storm has had couple of starts. An eye-catching start in an earlier start in race number 42, where finished on 2nd to Eagle's Flight. Tusaw has had 3 starts. Nothing much to speak about Tusaw. All unplaced efforts. Last start was found bleeding from the nostrils, and 7, which is Emperor Ashoka. Emperor Ashoka won in race number 33, and its race just fell short, finished on 2nd by a long neck to Only Dreams. Six, Lucky 9, 8, Super Akiga. Lucky 9 has had couple of starts in the season, finished on 7th in race number 41. Over here, Lucky 9 was travelling in front until the last 250 meters, where came under pressure and started to drop back, eventually finished on 8. Number 8 is Super Akiga, who's had 4 starts in the season. This start, Super Akiga was in 7th spot, then came up late into the scene towards the inside and just filled up the frame and finished on 4th. The winner here was Kanya Rashi. Number 9 is Kind of Magic. This one we are looking at from the Calcutta winter season. This was in winter season 22-23, a long way back. Since then had a start in the Bangalore season in 22-23. Over here, Kind of Magic was racing in 2nd spot, then eventually finished on 2nd. Then running after a long layoff is Kind of Magic. We got Bansi and Fortune Warrior. This is from race number 48, where Bansi finally came good, was travelling in 3rd spot, then took charge into the last 100 meters and won the race by about length and a half, beating Fortune Warrior into 2nd. And Fortune Warrior the mount of Arman Khan, and Bansi the mount of Vinay Jaswal. UV Dubai Station racing against each other. This is from race number 61, where Dubai Station was racing in 10th spot, then made some lead gains and eventually finished on 6th. UV, who was racing in 11th spot when asked for an effort, dropped back a place, finished on 12th of 12. The winner here was the Eagles Flight. Fourteen is Amadeus. Amadeus had a start in race number 62, where Amadeus was racing in 9th spot when asked for an effort, dropped back a placing, eventually finished on 10th of 11 runners. The winner was Matangi. Amadeus today the mount of Kirtish Bhagat, draw 1. Moving on to the fourth race of the afternoon, the Lieutenant General Jamil Mahmood Memorial Cup Division 2 for horses rate 21 to 46, rate 1 to 26, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. First runner we are looking at is Snowpiercer. This is from the monsoon season, where Snowpiercer was going over 1400 meters, was on a start to finish mission, then got into a ding-dong battle with Light Fantastic and just fell short by half a length. Snowpiercer today the mount of David Allen, drawn 14. We got couple of runners, Marcolini and Absolute Lightning. Marcolini has had couple of wins already in this season in race number 22 and race number 35 respectively. This start, Marcolini was in 3rd spot, was in a forward position, but when asked for an effort, dropped back, eventually finished on 10th of 14 runners. Absolute Lightning has had a win earlier part of the season on the monsoon track in race number 2, has had 3 starts since then, including this one where it finished on 7th. All 3 were unplaced efforts. 3 is Byberry. This one we are looking at is from the monsoon season, where Byberry was racing over 1400 meters, eventually finished on 2nd. And Byberry had a start in race number 35, where the rider was dislodged, and then was scheduled to start in race number 64, was withdrawn at the gates. Byberry, the mount of RLJH, is by Phoenix Star out of Bridgestone Hill. 4 is Rocket Man, has had couple of starts in the current season. In race number 15 finished on 6. Race number 36, the one we are looking at, where Rocket Man went over 1400 meters, was in 11th spot, but when asked for an effort was nothing much from the horse, so the jockey eased up the horse, eventually finished on 14th of 14. The winner here was Italian Gold. Rocket Man today the mount of Shahzad Khan. 5 is Rhapsody in Green, has had 4 starts. Rhapsody in Green, best start was perhaps the last start, the one we are looking at, where Rhapsody in Green, despite being a little slowly out of the gates, was in 8th spot, then made some late gains, got into the board, finished on 4th, and the winner here was Skyforce. Rhapsody in Green today the mount of A. Ashad Ashbar. Number 6 is Madras Check. Madras Check came down from Western India, perhaps needed the start in race number 62, where Madras Check was racing in 6th spot, then made some late gains when produced down the center, eventually came out and finished on 3rd. Today Madras Check the mount of Santosh G. Number 7 is Sensational. Rodrigo Connor out of Mystique was a winner in race number 3 over 1400 meters, where she staved off the challenge of Shiza Star. The run we are looking at is from the Calcutta Oaks, went over 2400 meters, was mostly in the rear of the field and finished on 8th of 8. The winner here was Rise and Rain, who got it in a 3-way finish. Number 8 is Veneno. Veneno has had couple of starts. Both starts has finished on 5th, including the start we are looking at, where Veneno went over 1600 meters, was in 2nd spot, was very prominent, but then started to back paddle, eventually finished on 5th of 10 runners. The winner here was Kanya Rashi. Veneno the mount of R. Manish. Number 9 is Dancing Queen. Dancing Queen is by Lord Admiral out of Crown Vision. three starts before the last start, three unplaced efforts. Then in race number 35, Dancing Queen was in second spot and then kept on finding something and eventually just got beaten by about a length to Marcolini. Dancing Queen, the mount of Arshella, drawn 11. 10, Dance Along has had a couple of starts in this season. In race number 12, finished on 6th of 11 runners behind Aeropole. Race number 41, the one we are looking at, went over 1100 meters, was Dance Along, was in 9th spot when asked for an effort, did not really accelerate, finished on 9th of 10 runners. The winner here was Trebia, got the race by a nose. 12 is Sporting Trainer. Sporting Trainer has had 4 starts in this season, and best start was definitely the last start where Sporting Trainer was going over 1100 meters. This was in race number 39, was in 4th spot, then came up with a rattle and just missed out and finished on 2nd by almost 3.5 lengths behind Honey Cake, who made every post a winning one. Sporting Trainer, the mount of Vinay Jaswal. Number 13 is Kasha, earlier known as Avon, has had a couple of starts since coming down to Calcutta. A start in the monsoon season where finished on 2nd to Fortune Warrior. The start we are looking at is from race number 12 on the winter track. Was on a start to finish mission, but into the last 200 meters dropped back and finished on 4th of 11 runners was Kasha, the mount of Arman Khan today. Moving on to the 5th race of the afternoon, the Bengal Area Cup for horses rated 41 to 66, rated 21 to 46, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1100 meters. First, if you're looking at 4 runners, this is K-Star, Liban, we got Pierre for Sure and Saranaika. This is from race number 67 where K-Star was a little slowly into stride but still managed to come out and finish on 4th. We had Liban, who was the winner, was racing in 3rd spot, then came up wide of the track and took charge and won the race by nose from Donna Siena. Then we had number 5 was Pierre for Sure, was winner in race number 45. Over here, Pierre for Sure just missed out, finished on 3rd. And number 7, Saranaika, who was a winner in earlier start in race number 6 on the monsoon track. Over here, finished on 6th. We're looking at a couple of runners, Superlative and Zuccardi. Superlative first start it had after coming down from Western India, was in 2nd spot, then finished on 3rd. Number 8 was Zuccardi, who's had a few starts, 5 starts to be precise, unplaced in each of his 5 starts is Zuccardi, where she finished on 8th in this start. Today the mount of Vinay Jaswal is Zuccardi, and Superlative to be ridden by David Allen. Number 3, Eagles Fly, 3 stars, 3 wins, 1 in race number 19 beating Trebia, 1 in race number 42 beating Into the Storm, and race number 61 again was on a start to finish mission and there was no looking back, beat No Worry into 2nd, Eagles Fly, the mount of R. Bhaiba. 6 is Extravagant Star, was winner in race number 20, the one we are looking at, where Extravagant Star was in 5th spot, then weaved a passage down the center and took charge, eventually won the race by a long neck, beating out the late challenge of My Princess Extravagant Star, again the mount of Imran Chisti. 9 is Fresh Hope, was winner in earlier start in race number 14 and placed effort in race number 21. Over here, Fresh Hope went over 1200 meters. This was in race number 46. Was in 3rd spot until the last 200 meters where started to backpedal, eventually finished on 8th of 9 runners. The winner here was Fiery Red. Finally, we got She's Our Star. She's Our Star, this was from race number 3, was in 3rd spot, then took charge for a while, but then was challenged for the lead by Sensational, and She's Our Star did the next best thing, finished on 2nd. The mount of K. Nazal is She's Our Star. Moving on to the 6th race of the afternoon, the Army Services Corps ASC Cup for horses rated 41 to 66, rated 21 to 46, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. The first runner we are looking at is Wonderful, who's had a few starts in this season, has had a few placed efforts. Race number 1 finished on second, race number 11 again finished on second, race number 18 finished on third. Then 3 unplaced effort, including this start where Wonderful went over 1400 meters, was in 10th spot, finished on 10th. Wonderful today the mount of Mukesh Kumar. Number 2 is Salome, after finishing on second in an earlier start in race number 31 behind Winter Agenda. Salome went on a start to finish mission and the jockey was really in a hurry, had a long lead coming into the home straight and eventually had 5 lengths to spare over Sea Eagle. Salome today the mount of Pete Trevor. Number 3 is Earth. Win legend out of Wind of Soul came down to Calcutta after a win in Bombay over 1400 meters. Took a tilt at the Oaks where Earth was on a start to finish mission and then dropped back. Eventually finished on 7th of 8 runners. The winner here was Rise and Rain. Earth again the mount of A. Sandesh. Four is Clever Hans, who's had 4 starts in the season. Started the season with a placed effort in race number 23. Since then, 3 unplaced effort, including this one where Clever Hans was racing in 10th spot, made some late gains, eventually finished on 7th of 12 runners. The winner here was Divine Thought, who had about a length and a half to spare behind the second placed horse. Clever Hans today the mount of Vinay Jaswal. 5 is Bundle of Charm. Couple of starts for Bundle of Charm. First start in race number 5 finished on 4th behind Celtic Harlequin. This start was over 1100 meters again in race number 8 where Bundle of Charm was in 5th spot, then came up and eventually saved place money, finished on 3rd. The winner here was All Time Legend. Number 6 is Multi-Star. After finishing on 9th in an earlier start, Multi-Star came like a bazooka on the wide outside in a no-whip contest where Multi-Star really enjoyed the trip and won the race eventually by 3 putts of a length, beating Flamingo Road in second. Today the mount of Imran Chisti. Number 7 is Rimmel, has had 3 starts, started the season with a placed effort in race number 25 where finished on 3rd behind Norwegian Wood over 1600 meters. Since then, couple of unplaced effort, including this start where Rimmel was a little slowly out of the gates, finished on 9th of 10 runners. The winner here was Sativur. We move on to the 7th race of the afternoon, the Eastern Command Cup for horses rated 61 to 86, rated 41 to 66, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1100 meters. We got a couple of runners. This is from race number 38, Soup and Sandwich, who was on a start to finish mission. At one time it looked like Soup and Sandwich was perhaps had run her race, but there was something in the tank and Suraj Naidu was able to guide Soup and Sandwich to a victory. Number 6 was Sea Smoke, who's had 2 starts in this season. Earlier start finished on 5th over here. So Sea Smoke was a little slowly out of the gates and finished on 5th of 9 runners. 2 is True Marshall. The start is from the monsoon season and race number 56 where True Marshall ran mostly in 9th spot, then made some late gains. But after the race it was observed that True Marshall was bleeding from the nostrils. We got 3 runners, Gazino, All Time Legend and Brinky Bill. Gazino was racing in 6th spot for most while, eventually finished on 8th. We had All Time Legend who had a win in earlier start in race number 8, then finished on 2nd in race number 23. And over here, All Time Legend ran in 7th spot for most while, then finished on 11th. Blinky Bill, who finished on 2nd in an earlier start behind Great Guns. Over here, Blinky Bill finished on 7th. Three runners again, Outlander, La Dominate and 1000 Words. The start is from race number 56 where they went over 1200 meters. The runs are from Outlander, who was racing second time on the Calcutta track. Earlier start, finished on third over here. Also Outlander finished on second. And 5 was La Dominate, who finished on second in an earlier start over here. La Dominate finished on sixth. 7,000 Words definitely was an eye catcher, was leading the pack until the last 100 meters, eventually finished on third. We move on to the 8th and feature race of the season, the Calcutta Derby Stakes 2025 Grade 1 for Indian horses 4-year-old only, to be run over a distance of 2,400 meters. First up, we are looking at the Calcutta 2000 guineas where we had Aeropoli and Castile. Aeropoli was racing in third spot, stayed on in third, and Castile, who was racing in second spot, then eventually just got up in the nick of time. We also had Mysterious Stranger, who was racing in fifth spot, then finished on fourth, and we had number 7 is No Mitzi. No Mitzi was racing in fourth spot, then dropped back, eventually finished on fifth. Number 3, Champagne Supernova. 3 starts for Champagne Supernova in this season. Earlier 2 starts finished on third and second respectively. Then stepped up to 2000 meters again. This was in race number 55. Took charge into the last 150 meters and eventually had 6 lengths to spare behind Jazara. Champagne Supernova, the mount of Vivek G today. Number 4 is Imperial Star. Rodrigo Connor out of Nostalgic Memories. Imperial Star was a winner in race number 19 in Bangalore. The start we are looking at is from the Madras season, where Imperial Star went over 2000 meters, but on a start to finish mission, but into the last 250 meters dropped back, eventually finished on 11th of 11 runners. The winner here was Cape Wickenham. 5 is Mescalito, has had couple of starts in the Bangalore season. In race number 17, finished on third behind Final Call. The start we are looking at is in race number 63, where went over 1800 meters, was a little slow into stride, took the turn in second spot, then came up and eventually just finished on second, almost 2 lengths behind Rock Bank. Mescalito again, the mount of Akshay Kumar. We are looking at the Oaks, where we had Lady Sunshine and Trahila. Lady Sunshine took charge into the last 200 meters, but was challenged on either side. Eventually, Lady Sunshine finished on fourth, and Trahila, who got the opening very late into the day, but was coming with big run, but just fell short by about half a length. And Lady Sunshine, the mount of Pete Trevor, and Trahila, ridden by Yash Naredu. So that's the lineup for the big race of the season, the Calcutta Derby Stakes 2025 Grade 1. We move on to the 7th race of the afternoon, the Calcutta Champion Sprint Trophy Grade 3 for horses 4-year-old and over, to be run over a distance of about 1200 meters. First runners we are looking at is Agnostic, Black Eagle, Blackstone and King's Retreat. This is from race number 57. To Agnostic was racing in third spot and was found wanting into the last 200 meters. Did not really accelerate the way we have seen Agnostic doing. Number 3, Black Eagle, was definitely with a revelation, was in 5th spot, then really started to fly like an eagle and got the race by a half a length. And Blackstone, who looked good for a while but was beaten by stablemate Close Home, and number 6 King's Retreat was racing in 6th spot, came very late into the scene and got into the place money in 3rd. 2 is Merope. Merope has reeled off wins after wins. She's by our Western Aristocrat out of Panamera. Couple of starts in this season and couple of wins. In race number 17 got the measure of Agnostic. Race number 44 took on a very classy field, made it a start to finish affair and staved off all and sundry and eventually had a length to spare. Merope is the mount of Yash Naredu today. 5 is Cool Rider. Cool Rider had a start in race number 43, and what a start this was. Went on a start to finish mission, was given a breather, then kicked away from them, eventually had 3/4 of a length behind but to spare over Black Eagle. Cool Rider today the mount of Neeraj Rawal. move on to the 10th and final race on Derby Day, the Red FM 93.5 Cup for horses rate 41 to 66, rate 21 to 46, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1100 meters. First runner we are looking at is Sea of Charm. Sea of Charm has had 3 starts in this season. Last 2 starts, Sea of Charm has been slowly out of the gates. Last start was in race number 38, took the turn in 6th spot, then dropped back, eventually finished on 6th of 9 runners. The winner here was Soup and Sandwich. 2 is Dubai Gold. Dubai Gold has a couple of starts. Both starts has finished on 7th. In race number 20 finished on 7th behind Extravagant Star. Race number 31, the one we are looking at, was in 7th spot for most while and eventually finished on 7th, this time behind Winter Agenda. 3 is Black Coffee. The start we are looking at from the monsoon season, where Black Coffee had a couple of starts. Race number 42 finished on 7th. Race number 58, the one we are looking at, went over 1600 meters. Was on a start to finish mission, but into the last 200 meters dropped back, eventually finished on 6th of 7 runners. The winner here was Wonderful. Couple of runners, My Princess and Tuscany. My Princess had a couple of starts in this season, a second place effort behind Extravagant Star in race number 11, race number 20 over 1100 meters, and race number 45, the one we are looking at, went over 1200 meters, was in 4th spot, came up with a late run and eventually finished on 3rd. Tuscany, who summered in Hyderabad, that run in monsoon season, were finished on 3rd. Over here finished on 6th. 5 is Light the World. Light the World had a start in race number 46, where finished on 2nd by chasing Fiery Red all down the center of the Calcutta straight, but just missed out by 3 parts of a length. Light the World is by Dreamfield out of Let There Be Light, the mount of Yash Naredu. Number 6 is Sir Baffert Night Store out of Berry Girl. 3 starts for Sir Baffert during the last winter season. Race number 81 finished on 2nd. Race number 95 finished on 5th. Race number 125, this is the second time Sir Baffert was slow into stride, was in 8th spot, then came up with a very late run, eventually finished on 3rd behind La Dominant. 7 is Superimpose. Superimpose came down from Western India, is by Roderick O'Connor out of Sorrento Steel. In the race number 67, the one we are looking at, was in 4th spot for most while, but then dropped back, eventually finished on 7th of 8 runners. The winner here was Liban. Number 9, the final runner we are looking at is Matangi. Matangi finally came good in race number 62, where she was in 3rd spot, then weaved a passage towards the inside and got the measure of Honey Cake. Matangi again the mount of A. Ashad Ashbar. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. See you at the races for our big day, the Derby Day, and best of luck with that.